He just proved the Knicks right as a star player is breaking out all over again, showing that the New York Knicks made the correct decision in acquiring him. We got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Knicks Basketball 365. If you are a New York Knicks fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 6% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, and it really helps me out a ton. But let's jump right into what we got for today. In the middle of the Hawks series, the end of the season, really, ever since the trade happened, there has been a ton of discourse around the trade that netted Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks. And the problem is the New York Knicks gave up 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick, multiple pick swaps, and Bojan Bogdanovic while receiving only one player in return. So, of course, when that player people are perceiving as not playing well or not returning value on their investment, a lot of New York Knicks fans are going to get up in arms, and that is exactly what was happening with Mikal Bridges. With ended the season with a couple of single point scored games, had that really bad game against the Atlanta Hawks. Also, everyone is talking about this shot at the end of game 2 when it came to Mikal Bridges, this was at the end of game 2, a game that the Knicks really should have won. Mikal Bridges, for whatever reason, decides that he doesn't want to go to the rim, or it's not whatever reason. We know Mikal Bridges doesn't like to be physical, doesn't like to go to the rim. He'd rather take that midi step back shot, which analytics will tell you is a really bad shot. I know Mikal Bridges is better than most in the league at this step back shot, but it's still a bad take. You'd rather see him go to the rim, take a little bit of contact, maybe draw a foul, maybe make a layup. That's what you'd rather see Mikal Bridges do. So when Mikal Bridges missed this shot that is currently on the screen at the end of game 2 versus the Atlanta Hawks, discourse was at an all-time high. People were complaining about how much we gave up for Mikal Bridges. People were complaining about what he isn't doing, who he isn't, and just saying, I can't believe we gave up 5 first-round picks for this. But now, Mikal Bridges versus the Philadelphia 76ers, the Knicks' last 4 games of the season, Mikal Bridges is proving the New York Knicks right that we should have traded for him. We can see here, Mikal Bridges has averaged 17.5 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, and 3.5 assists per game in the 4-game sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2026 Eastern Conference semifinals. Now, Mikal Bridges is showing exactly why the New York Knicks went out and acquired him. Also, why the roster building strategies go out and get someone like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Every single team in the NBA is looking for wings that can defend at a high level and hit open threes. Not everyone in the NBA can find them. The New York Knicks are lucky enough, yes, that's right, I said lucky enough, to have 2 of these perfect role players that fit in, off the field wise or off the court wise, and fit in to the offense of the New York Knicks and what they're doing offensively and defensively on the court. It is perfect what the New York Knicks have set up for the modern NBA, which is hit your open threes and play good defense. These are 2 role players on the screen with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, who, yes, they're not stars, and you would like to trade 5 first-round picks for someone who is a star player. But they are perfect role players in the modern NBA, and we are seeing that from the most recent series. The New York Knicks swept a team that, yes, is not built well for the modern NBA, but we saw the contrast between the roster building strategies of the New York Knicks, which is the perfect roster building strategy for the new modern NBA, and we contrasted that versus the 2018, big 3 type of build that the 76ers tried to employ. Daryl Morey, the president of the Philadelphia 76ers, now fired, he tried to build a big 3 team, which was all the rage a decade ago when those sort of teams were rising to the occasion. He tried to put together Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George. Now, we know the big 3 era is no longer here in the NBA. It is now about depth behind 1 or 2 star players. That's what the Oklahoma City Thunder is doing, and that's what the New York Knicks are now trying to do as well. We have our 2 star players in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Then we have a ton of depth and have drafted very, very well in the second round of the NBA drafts, very much like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the New York Knicks have this depth, and they are able to run it and make it so the Philadelphia 76ers, with their lack of depth, are not able to hang. The first round matchup, the Atlanta Hawks, don't have the depth or the size because of, injuries and trades. They weren't really a hard contender for the NBA Finals. The New York Knicks are just showing off their depth to the rest of the Eastern Conference just the same way that the Indiana Pacers did to us and the other teams that they were able to make it through on their way to going to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And we've seen it from the Indiana Pacers, which of last year, the New York Knicks this year are better than the Pacers were last year. That Pacers team took the Oklahoma City Thunder to 7 games, and Tyrese Haliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7. That shows us that, yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder have gotten better because they were the youngest team in basketball last year, so they've gotten more experience and they're better this year. However, the New York Knicks are a much better team than the Indiana Pacers were last year, showing that should the New York Knicks make it out of the Eastern Conference, which we are favorites to do, minus 190 according to DraftKings, the New York Knicks can make a run at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, back to Mikal Bridges real quick. Too many people were talking way too much trash about him, and the trash talk even extended to star player Jalen Brunson with this ridiculous comment from Stephen A. Smith, this graphic coming from Yahoo Sports, saying the Knicks ain't winning a damn thing. Mikal Bridges, this 6-game stretch, 39 total points, averaging 6.5 points per game, 5 for 24 from three-point range, 16 for 51 from the field, can't buy a basket. This is unacceptable. And then Stephen A. Smith decided to blame Jalen Brunson for some reason. The person I'm blaming most for this is Jalen Brunson. It's the only thing I can blame Jalen Brunson for, who I am so proud to have as a New York Knick, but it's his fault. Stephen A. Smith then would go on to blame Jalen Brunson for giving the New York Knicks the flexibility to trade for and pay Mikal Bridges because Jalen Brunson took a pay cut. So this was a stretch from the New York Knicks at the end of the year. It's a pretty bad thing that I can't say for sure which Mikal Bridges stretch this was, because this is, a video celebrating Mikal Bridges, but I will admit there were plenty of stretches where people were right to say the New York Knicks, got fleeced, or not fleeced, but the New York Knicks lost badly the trade that we made with the Brooklyn Nets, which brings you to the final point that you have to remember with that trade. Leon Rose, first of all, we got to trust him because he clearly knows what he's doing. Whether or not you liked the Karl-Anthony Towns trade, whether or not you liked the Mikal Bridges trade, this roster is the best roster in the Eastern Conference This roster is favored to make it out of the Eastern Conference playoffs. If we make it to the NBA Finals, anyone can win. The Oklahoma City Thunder are down their second best player in Jalen Williams. What if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got hurt? What if Isaiah Hartenstein or Chet Holmgren got hurt on top of that? We saw it 2 years ago from the New York Knicks where an entire team can get injured. It's possible. That first series with the Pacers, everyone got hurt and we lost in 7. We can do that to somebody else. The goal can't be build a better roster than the Oklahoma City Thunder, because that's not possible. The goal is build a roster that can compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that is exactly what Leon Rose did. He needed to go out and find a player who was the right fit for what the New York Knicks were trying to build. A wing that could both defend and score, and most importantly, hit his open threes. This roster, it was built for the Boston Celtics with 2 highly defensive wings versus the 2 star wings for the Boston Celtics and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But it was also built for the modern NBA. Give us a chance versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, even if we will be the underdogs. I mean, we've never seen an underdog win anything in the NBA, right? I understand 7-game series makes it much harder for upsets to happen. It's not March Madness where you just got to win 1 game and it's over. But it's still highly possible for a team to upset the Oklahoma City Thunder, especially this New York Knicks team, which has been tremendous throughout the course of the playoffs to upset the Oklahoma City Thunder. Last point here, it's not about winning the trade. Look at what we gave up for Mikal Bridges. It is impossible to give up 5 first-round picks plus Bojan Bogdanovic plus pick swaps for a player who is not like a Giannis Antetokounmpo type of guy and win the trade. It wasn't about winning the trade. It was about making the team better and turning the team into a contender. If you are a team that, look at how about we look at the Toronto Raptors from 2019? Lose the Kawhi trade, but you don't care. You don't care that you lost value-wise because they won the NBA championship. That's what the New York Knicks are trying to do. They're not trying to win every single trade on their way there because so what? You don't care if you win or lose the trades if you win the NBA Finals. And that's what this team is designed to do. Look at the New York Jets. I'm a New York Jets fan. They win every single trade over the past year and a half since they picked up their new general manager, Darren Muji. But the trades that you win don't matter if you don't win anything during the regular season, and especially not during the postseason. The New York Knicks are trying to be the opposite of that. It doesn't matter. Winning or losing these trades don't matter if you are winning basketball games and blowing out teams in the playoffs. When we are beating the Atlanta Hawks by 62 points or 61 points, whatever the highest lead was, are we thinking about, man, I wish we had extra first-round picks. How good could this team be if we added more first-round picks? No one was thinking that. No. You were thinking about, man, I'm so happy we are where we are. I'm so happy this team has been built the way it's been built. This team looks amazing. This team is amazing. This team has a chance to win the NBA Finals, which is the first time we can say that since I was born back in 2001. First time we can say that. This team is special. Mikal Bridges is a great part of it. Forget about this picture. The New York Knicks are building something special, and Mikal Bridges is a great part of it. The New York Knicks did not win the trade value-wise, but if we make it to the NBA Finals, give the Oklahoma City a run for their money, or beat them, then the New York Knicks, without a doubt, won the Mikal Bridges trade with the Brooklyn Nets. Would you rather be picking 6th overall? That's where the Brooklyn Nets are right now. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Knicks.